Hi everyone. Dietary modifications are essential for effective management of diabetes. 7 important rules for these dietary modifications are briefly explained in this video. The objective of dietary modifications is to lower the risk that diet-related factors exert in the development of diabetes and its complications. The recommended diet for diabetic patients is best explained by the food plate method shown here, which is the first rule. Our meals typically consist of cereal-based items like rice, bread, noodles, hoppers etc., which are starchy foods. Fish, meat, or egg, which are protein-rich foods, fats and oils, and vegetables. For patients with diabetes, fill half the plate with non-starchy vegetables such as green leaves, lettuce, cucumbers, spinach, tomatoes, carrots, lady's fingers, wing beans, bitter gourd, snake gourd, ribbed gourd etc. and may add some non-starchy fruits like oranges. Fill a quarter of the plate with starchy foods such as rice, bread, noodles, hoppers, string hoppers, etc. Fill the rest with protein-rich foods such as meat, fish, eggs, soy, pulses etc. Let's examine in more detail the first portion of the food plate. That is non-starchy vegetables. Non-starchy vegetables are an important component of a diabetic diet because they are low in calories, high in fiber, and low on the glycemic index. They reduce the rate of absorption of sugars and lipids in the diet and reduce the risk of certain chronic diseases. Selecting a variety of vegetables, preferably in different colors, green, red, yellow, purple, gives a wide variety of nutrients, including antioxidants and phytochemicals, which have various health benefits. Diabetics can consume these non-starchy vegetables without any restriction. Now, let's look at the second portion, that is, starchy foods. Select foods with complex carbohydrates, which have plenty of fiber. Whole grain cereals are preferred to whole grain flour. Foods prepared from whole grain flours are better than foods of polished flour preparations. Rice should preferably be parboiled or minimally milled. Starchy vegetables and fruits, potatoes, sweet potatoes, manioc, corn, jackfruit, breadfruit, different types of yams, pumpkin, ash plantains, green peas etc., can be used in limited quantities in the second portion of the food plate. Korakan flour has a high GI, therefore, avoid overeating. The third portion of the food plate is protein-rich healthy foods. Patients with diabetes have the same protein requirement of normal people. Proteins from plant sources such as pulses, legumes, grams, cowpea, chickpea, dough, soya etc. are healthier options in diabetes as animal proteins deliver more stress on kidneys. Fish and poultry without skin can be consumed, but limit red meat. Excess protein intake can increase the likelihood of developing diabetic nephropathy, hence, it is important to adhere to the portion size shown in the food plate. So, that's the first rule, follow the food plate method. The second rule is to select healthy options when making food selections. Healthy choices are fish, a good source of omega-3 fatty acids and unsaturated fats. Nuts, cashew nuts, peanuts, pumpkin seeds and gingerly. Unsaturated oils such as gingerly, sunflower, olive, canola and soya oils are preferable for cooking. 2 to 3 eggs for a week can be consumed. Eggs without the yolk is advisable for people with high risk of atherosclerotic heart disease. Milk products such as non-fat or low-fat milk, non-fat yogurt, and curd can be used. Skinless poultry is a safer option. The third rule is on fruits. Fruits play a significant role in diabetic diet as fruits contain plenty of fibers and nutrients, including vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytochemicals. Diabetics may consume 2 to 3 portions of fruits every day. When you eat fruits with low glycemic index, such as avocado, guava, orange apple etc., sugar enters the body slowly, and diabetics can be allowed to eat a fair amount of such fruits. Portion size should be reduced when consuming fruits with medium to high GI such as mangoes, papaya, raisins, dates, watermelons, pineapples etc. Fresh fruits are preferable to fruit juices as fruit juices give rise to sudden rise of blood sugar. Preserved fruit juices, dried fruits and canned fruits which may have added sugar are best avoided. Spreading the consumption of fruits throughout the day will avoid a sudden increase in blood sugar levels. The fourth rule is on restricted foods. What foods to be restricted? Fats and oils. Patients with diabetes are at a higher risk for coronary heart disease and other vascular diseases. Therefore, fats and oils should be restricted and further limited by those who are overweight. Choose only non-fat or low-fat dairy products. Limit consumption of deep-fried foods, which contain hidden oils and trans fat. Though coconut oil is a saturated oil, it mainly consists of small and medium-chain fatty acids, which tend to get easily burned for energy. Therefore, coconut oil can be consumed in moderation. Salt. While salt doesn't directly affect blood sugar levels, excessive sodium intake can raise blood pressure, which is a significant concern for people with diabetes due to the increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and kidney disease. Therefore, keep the salt intake below 1,500 mg of sodium per day, which corresponds to 3/4 teaspoon of salt. The fifth rule is what foods to avoid. Refined sugars such as table sugar, jaggery, treacle etc. Sweets, chocolates and cakes. Foods containing trans fats, such as margarine, biscuits, fried foods, pastries, and various bakery products, shall also to be avoided. Sweetened drinks, fizzy drinks, cola drinks, and energy drinks should be avoided, as they can cause a sudden increase in blood glucose levels. Excess energy intake could also lead to overweight and obesity. Alcohol makes it difficult to control blood sugar levels, worsens the complications of diabetes, and causes many other adverse health effects in diabetics, hence be avoided. The sixth rule is about the amount and spacing of meals. Diabetics can include carbohydrates in every meal, but large quantities of even low GI foods can deliver a large amount of glucose. Considering this fact, diabetics need to spread smaller meals evenly throughout the day, as even distribution helps to prevent fluctuations of blood glucose levels. The seventh or the last rule for diabetic diet is the recommended cooking methods. Remember to remove visible fats from meats and skin from chicken before cooking. Do not use butter, cheese, margarine and other saturated fats for cooking. Use low-fat or fat-free cooking methods such as boiling, steaming, baking, roasting, grilling, and best as salads. Using non-stick pans and cooking sprays can help minimize the amount of oil. As coconut oil delivers a minimal amount of trans fats, it can be used for deep frying purposes. However, the amount of deep-fried foods should be strictly limited to reduce total fat intake. Those are the 7 rules for a diabetic diet. You may check out this video, which describes healthy and unhealthy fats, which might also be helpful to you. May you enjoy good health.